Okay. Questions after?
You can ask if anybody wants to speak.
Okay, let's call this meeting to order. Thank you all for being here today, and we're very glad to see that map happening. All right, I'm going to open the meeting. Commissioner Seal is joining us on the phone, but she's not going to say anything, just so you know she's there. And Mr. Burton is going to give us an update of what's happening, why we're here.
I think we wanted to.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I'm
could
sorry.
just
Okay.
comment very quickly. The chair of the commission, Commissioner Sue, will be joining us by phone. We did have a discussion, and given the state's open meetings laws, she's not being counted towards the quorum, which obviously we have here in person, and won't be participating or voting. She really will just be joining to listen into the conversation.
And actually, Commissioner, I'm sorry, no.
Peters?
Peters,
Oh.
sorry. Haven't had quite enough coffee yet. Commissioner Peters is stuck in Miami, so she'd appreciate your prayers, I think.
And I think Commissioner Seal wanted to say something before we begin the meeting.
No, I don't.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm getting terrible feedback, but anyway, thank you, everyone, especially our employees. I'm very concerned, been watching and praying, and hoping that we have wonderful news, and want to just, again, thank everyone for all their hard work.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Burton.
Well, obviously we're here today because, as you know, Hurricane Dorian is heading towards Florida. Early morning forecast today is trending in the right direction. However, you know, as you can see from the map, one day can make a big difference. As you see from the news reports, your projected path has trended north and eastward. However, we know this is a very dangerous hurricane. We don't know the impact on Pinellas County, but it's possible we could have anything from tropical storm winds and long periods of heavy rain to something even more severe, depending upon the path of the hurricane. Right now, we're looking at Tuesday effects from the wind and rain through beginning late Monday, early Tuesday, through the day of Tuesday. The governor's declared a state of emergency. We're urging our residents to be prepared, and we want the county to be prepared also. One way the county prepares is to make sure we have the authority to make quick decisions as the situation changes. Florida law allows the county to declare it a state of emergency and lift some of the standard procedures in order to keep people safe. Today, I'm asking you, the County Commission, to declare a state of emergency for Pinellas County and delegate the authority to me as your county administrator to do what is needed to respond to the storm. And so I would ask for your approval to make decisions and approve expenditures necessary for public safety for the duration of the storm. I'd like to give you more information. I'd ask that our Emergency Management Director, Kathleen Perkins, and Sheriff Gauthiery to address the board.
Good morning. Hurricane Dorian is still difficult to predict. We are working with the National Hurricane Center and the local office of the National Weather Service to evaluate when and how the hurricane could impact Pinellas County. We are planning for all possible scenarios, including evacuations and shelters. Under the best case scenario, we could maybe only have a voluntary evacuation for our mobile home populations, those who are electricity dependent, and those in low-lying and coastal areas. Under the worst case scenario, we would need to evaluate the possibility of a mandatory evacuation for some populations. Regardless of which scenario we end up facing, I want to make it clear to the community, please prepare. I want to remind everyone in Pinellas County of three things. First, know your evacuation zone. You can find this at pinellascounty.org/knowyourzone. Second, if you live in an evacuation zone, especially Zone A, or if you live in a mobile home, have an evacuation plan. Ask your friends or family in advance if you can stay with them. If that's not an option for you, we will announce a list of shelters where you can be safe and evacuation is ordered. Third, expect power outages and be prepared. Have water, non-perishable food, flashlights, and batteries ready. See pinellascounty.org/emergency for more information about how to prepare. While it is important to have supplies, please also be a good neighbor. Don't take more than you need when you're buying water, gasoline, and non-perishable food. To the board, I support having an emergency declaration to make sure we can respond quickly as possible to keep the public safe as the situation evolves. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sheriff?
Good morning, everybody. I just want to say I concur with the county administrator's recommendation of the declaration of emergency. It's very important that we be fluid, we be nimble, and that we be able to respond to this. The only thing that seems to be certain about the storm is the uncertainty, and it's a different type of uncertainty than what we saw a couple years ago. Remember, we were all sitting in this room 2 years ago with Irma, and we were faced with a much different situation then because we had uncertainty and we had one of three courses. But what we knew is we were facing significant storm surge, and we had a lead time window within which to act. And so you all declared the emergency, and we had significant evacuations. It actually, in some respects, worked out very well not to have people here in the aftermath. And if you recall, we didn't open Pinellas County, we sealed it off, and we didn't open all the ingress points until several hours after, and we didn't even open the barrier islands till much later that day. So one of the reasons that this is important now and we all stay prepared for this is that which we do not anticipate a need for evacuations, but we can still have an effect. We're going to have a lot of people here, and the roads are going to be clogged, and if we have power outages, that poses other problems. So I can tell you that Pinellas County law enforcement is prepared. All the plans are in place, and that everybody's working collaboratively to be able to respond to it. But we could easily have challenges, and we really won't know by all accounts until Tuesday exactly where we sit and whether it makes that turn or does not. So I think even if we get some of the bands and some of the wind and some of the rain, probably the greatest concern is the power outages, at least as far as I'm concerned, because and localized flooding. So we need to be prepared, and the best way to be prepared is to have the declaration. So I support you all doing that and giving the county administrator the delegated discretion to implement what we need to. I can tell you also that we've met many times, and we're working very collaboratively with the administrator and his team and with Director Perkins, and we'll continue to do so to make sure that our common goal is that Pinellas County residents stay safe, but ask the residents of the county to listen to us. And you know, we get to a point where in all of these storms where we ask people, and sometimes we tell people. Some people don't listen. But if you make that choice after you've been told, then you're on your own. And I said it last time, I'll say it again this time, is that we act very cautiously and prudently. Try not to do things before they're necessary, but if we tell you, it's because it is necessary, and we ask that you listen to us. That's one of the challenges that we have, but if people don't, then it's up to them and they're on their own. But hopefully we won't get there in this case, but we just need to be prepared for this, and I think that we're on the right track, we're on the right course in Pinellas County's response to this. So we'll continue to work together, and hopefully on Tuesday morning, it'll go further east and avoid us, and we can all get back to business at hand. So appreciate the opportunity to share some thoughts with you, and of course, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Do we have any questions? Yes.
So the
for sure.
resolution that we have in the agenda packet covers this request.
The resolution that's before you, it declares a state of emergency and delegates the authority to me. I would then have the authority to waive purchasing requirements, things like that, and also to declare, up to declaring an evacuation.
Okay.
There would be an evacuation order that I would do at the time that it's necessary to do so. And you know, we have standards by which how long it takes for an evacuation, so we will watch the storm and only do so if necessary. Obviously, between now and then, I will be in constant contact with you and make that a kind of a game time decision.
Follow up, Madam Chair?
Yes.
So you'd have the authority to do that without reassembling the commission?
That's correct.
Okay.
That would be a delegation you're providing to me.
I would move that when you're ready, Madam Chair.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Commissioner,
Yes, I just want to make sure that I did hear you say that in the event you were making any of those really significant decisions, you would be in contact with all of us so that we would know ahead of time.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
do we have any other questions? Yes, Commissioner Eggers?
Well, no, not prior to the vote or anything, but I was just taken by what the sheriff said about we're going to have a lot of people here. And I'm assuming that not only does it mean our folks, but folks maybe coming from the other coast. Is there any, and I know I heard something that the schools have already closed for Tuesday. Is there any sense of the necessity of shelters for visitors? Maybe we're not going to need them here, but maybe it's a place for folks to come to. I know there's private efforts that they can do, hotels and that kind of thing, but is there that kind of thought?
So we're preparing for the storm. We're also preparing for after the storm and staging and resources and things like that. I would ask Director Perkins to address this.
Yeah, and also the state is looking at regional host sheltering, especially now that I think a lot of people have seen the shift of the storm. We will see perhaps that increase of people coming over to the west coast of Florida. We have plans right now. We're ready to ramp up to 39,000 shelter spaces if necessary.
Okay, and that would be kind of a state inventory type of decision? And
Yeah,
maybe
we'd be working
direction?
very closely with the school board and with the other counties to make sure that we're doing everything we can to protect the citizens.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Kathy, can you tell the public how they can get information as the weekend progresses?
So our Citizens Information Center line is open from 8 to 8 every day. We also online, you can go to pinellascounty.org, emergency, to get information. Follow the media. Marketing and Communications is putting everything out through social media. We have a live chat going on. So we're doing everything we can to get the information out to people. I want to tell people you're going to get burned out if you watch the TV all day, but I don't want you to stop watching it. You need to, check in a couple times a day. The Weather Service made it very clear to us that we need to continue to watch this. We're looking for that sharp turn on Tuesday morning. This storm is expected to slow down to 3 miles per hour. We've already been in the 5-day cone for 6 days. So, we're going to continue to be in that 5-day cone for at least another couple days. So it's really important that people remain vigilant.
And to continue to watch as this progresses. So, again, we have sheltering plans in place, but we're also going to step those down to where schools can get open if, in fact, it doesn't impact us as much. So that plan will change over time. And we will continue sandbag operations. So we have 3 sites for sandbags. Public can continue to go to those between 7 and 7 each day.
Okay, thanks. So we have a motion and a second for the order. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Finally, if I would just thank you, commissioners, for that action. I'd also, though, being the new kid still, I've got to watch a real partnership between our employees, our partner agencies, and everybody working together as a team. It's been truly amazing to watch. They have a well-oiled machine in terms of addressing this, and it's really the partnership, the collaboration, people just willing to pitch in and help. That's what really kind of makes the operation go. So I've been very impressed with what I've watched and continue. I think I'm fortunate to be able to come into a situation like that. You got a great team here.
Yes, we do. And I wanted to say thank you to all the staff that's been preparing for the 5-day window for 6 days now. And we'll continue to over the weekend. I know the public doesn't see that, but we know how hard you're working. And, even if nothing happens, you have prepared, and we appreciate that. We do have a well-oiled machine.
That's all I have.
Okay. Anything further? Do we have anybody from the public who'd like to speak or ask questions? Okay. We are adjourned. We are adjourned. I'm not a gaveler.
It's official.
Yeah.